Could be. Hi, everybody. We're live. Donna's right there. I'm going to turn her off in a second so she doesn't annoy everybody in the beginning. We were just talking about how spacey I am, and now let's go to just me. So, hi, everybody. It's Brad Tassell. Welcome to 1,000 Marriage Questions. I want to thank last week 10,500 views. Thank you very much for your comments, everything like this. Please keep sending the comments. You can put them on Facebook at Brad Tassell, or you can put them on YouTube on the show, or get a hold of Donna or me at any time. Just Google Brad Tassell, you can find me. But 10,500, we're very proud. This week is going to be a little interesting because I may be a little out of it. Last night, and that's, Donna, that's going to be our first question about, because I had somebody ask me this question before. It's in the bucket somewhere. Why do married people live longer? And I'm going to give you a little, for instance, of maybe why that is. Last night, my wife and I went out to dinner. We were very social distance. We had our masks on at all times until we were eating. And we got Brussels sprouts. The only food that has ever hurt me is Brussels sprouts. If they're not cooked all the way through. I bit on a Brussels sprout in the back of my jaw, and it unhinged my jaw, cracked it just like that. That hurts, and it hurt a lot. And I could not close my mouth. I couldn't close. And so we had to leave the restaurant. And I had to spend the next 6 hours trying to figure out. And we got a hold of a oral surgeon who was very nice to talk to us and tell us what to do to get it back in place, which took many hours. Then we got an exciting thing that I've never done before, and that is muscle relaxants. So I took one of those about 3 hours ago, and I've never felt so off and loopy. And let me say this, Donna, if you tell me this when you come on, I have never taken anything in my life more powerful than an ibuprofen until today in my life. This is the most powerful thing. Now, I don't feel high, which I don't know what that would be anyway, but I just am in this weird box, and sometimes I don't make sense. So the thing about why we live longer is that I would have done none of these things had my wife not been with me. One of the reasons I think people live longer when they're married is because your spouse is going to poke you in the eye and make you get help. They're not going to let you out of the help part. So that's just all there is to it. So my wife did not let me. I was just going to go home, try to lay down, hope it got better in the morning. And she said, that is not going to work. So, okay, let's do the opening, and then we'll bring Donna in. How's that sound, Donna? Everything sound good? Here we go.
1,000 Questions is an entertaining discussion of marriage. We aren't telling you to do or feel or change anything about your life. Really, just listen and enjoy. And if you need real help, find a professional for your specific problem. We don't know you. How could we speak to your deal? Okay, have fun.
Hello, Donna Wilburn.
Hello, Brad Tassell.
So my wife came in 5 minutes before the show and said, can you do this? Can you spend the next half hour talking coherently? Because she notices how wonked out I have been. Now, it does hurt less. I put a lot of ice on it. I figured out how to get it in place. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll be able to eat actual food and not just little bits of whatever I'm sucking through the skin. But answer that question. Talk about people living longer. I think people live longer when they're married.
First, I have to tell you that you are high.
Okay.
You call it wonky. Other people call it high. And they live their life like this every day, all day. Can you function? Yes.
I took one. I will never take another.
Well, then you must not enjoy this high as much as like somebody who wants to be like that all day. If you have a really gross, rough life that's full of crap, then you might not mind being kind of out of it. That's what high is. That's why people stay like that.
I can't stand. It's like I'm looking through kind of a weird vision of. I'd hate to think what LSD or mushrooms is like.
Those are totally different highs. What you took there, that's a major addiction issue right now. It's opiates or pain medication. And because it only kind of makes you kind of high where you can still function, but you don't have to feel totally in reality. That's why people get stuck on it. So good to know that you like reality, that you don't really need to be in this weird place. But there's some people whose reality sucks for them, and so they want to stay in this weird place.
Well, I don't like it. Let's just say that. And I don't like being unclear. I don't like not being able to focus as well. Hold on. Doc Darwin's calling me. He's supposed to be here. Doc, I'm on the show talking to Donna. How are you?
Question.
Nah, I've lost Doc. Doc, go ahead.
Do I use Facebook? Can I use the Safari app, or do I need Chrome in order to get
I have no idea. Just go in and click on the link. Donna and I are talking live right now, and you're talking to us on the phone. So just go to the link any way you can and click it. All right. Thanks, Doc. All right. That was Doc Garvin, everybody. You can't figure out how to get in the show. He does have a master's degree, and he's not high. So figure that one out.
That's really interesting.
So it's interesting, though. Now I think about it, if you're with somebody who is taking drugs, how that can stress the relationship, especially when they're so different all the time. There's this person, and then there's this person.
No, Brad, this is their person. Like how you are right now is how they want to be 24 hours a day. So the other person is who no one really knows well, because they're like this all the time. You're getting one little tiny view of what a drug addict's life is.
I don't like it. So Doc is now sending me things, asking me, Doc, good luck to you if you ever get in. So we'll talk to Doc Garvin.
You're supposed to be high. You're just like, whatever.
Whatever. Well, not whatever. I'm also just kind of just staring into space every once in a while, and I'm not paying attention. And then I said massage chair today. I wanted to say massage chair, and I said massage chair. So hey, anybody out there who is high,
so this show is going to be the show where Brad is high during the show. Right. So let's
go down in history as the worst show we ever did, because no one knew what I was talking about. But let's go back to the actual question at hand, because people, and more than one person has asked me this, you just stop it. And that is, why do married people live longer? And I just said one of the reasons is because they're going to poke at you to actually get something fixed.
Well, that is one reason, because especially if you have a little bit of a nag of a partner, they're going to make you go to the doctor. And that is a factor. That is a factor that people who are married, because you have someone else in the picture, you're more likely to go take care of yourself than maybe just a single person. But there's also a really big factor, that's that emotional connection that you have with somebody, that you have support, companionship, you're happier, you're sharing your stress with someone versus it's all on your shoulders. So the effect of having a companion and sharing stressful things tends to keep us healthier, and we live longer when we're healthier.
Okay, I'm going to say no to all of that and say I know couples that have hated each other for 70 years and they seem to live forever, and they seem to, is it because they love being, they really, that relationship of just constant bickering and battling?
That's how some people bond. Some people bond through picking on each other, like elementary school kids. Some people bond through sarcastic jabs. There's studies in therapy land that say it's a scarier situation if you're not fighting, not happy. Happy's fine, but if the conflict is quiet, silent, cold, and they're like distancing and all that, that's less healthy than actually arguing with each other. So that those couples who have spats and nasty and jabs and whatever, they're actually healthier than the couples who don't really ever even see each other.
Well, I'm not talking about bottling it up. I'm just talking about two miserable people.
No, that's
spending a miserable life together.
That's their fun. That's their fun and bonding. That's playing and teasing, jabbing, sarcastic, picking on each other.
Oh my God. Somebody get a hold of me and tell me that you can live like this. My wife and I, she called me, before we got married, she called me stupid one day. She said, "Don't be so stupid." And I stopped and I said, okay, here's the deal. We don't get to be in a relationship if you're ever going to call me a name of any kind. You can't, and y'all can't say F this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can't take that. And I would never call her a name. I've never called her the B word. I've never called her, you're being this. And I had a friend who that's all he did. My wife's this, my wife's just calling, and they would fight and argue. And that it seems so foreign and odd to me that I don't know how you can make it.
There's whole cultures that bond like that. There's a lot of groups of people, and so I try not to be super judgy. Like, for instance, I came across a culture where they bond by criticizing, right? So you're doing that wrong, you're doing that wrong, that's not right, that's not right. And I was going to correct them on it and be like, that's not really healthy, cool to do. But they were good with it. They liked it. And so in my head, I was like, but that's mean, and you're being rude to each other. And they're like, no, it's not. It's how we talk to each other. And I was like, all right. So we have a rule: don't fix it if it's not broken. You have to go within their culture. I'm okay with it not being in your culture to say things like that. Not mine either. But with some it is. And you gotta be okay with it.
Okay, so that leads me to another question, though. After I took this medication, is it okay that my wife is now 7 feet tall, has purple spots, and talks like a lizard? It's weird.
It's a side effect. Just be okay with it.
Oh, no, I was going to say that turned me on. I was thinking, let's get into a little of that, huh?
Yeah, like a new person or something. It's like having an affair with the lizard. It's really
okay, I pulled a question out of the bucket.
Okay.
This is lovely. How to put up with his childish ass attitude without divorcing him. I guess that kind of falls in line with what we're just talking about. How to put up with his childish ass attitude without divorcing him. Okay, I'm going to start by saying that I don't know, just it seems like she kind of enjoys that attitude.
She called it a him, which means the childish ass attitude goes with the male human. That's fine.
From the beginning. He's had this from the beginning.
That's who we are.
Again, I think she enjoys it. She likes that. She doesn't want a calm marriage. She's looking for things to be mad at, and it excites her to talk about it and makes her feel superior.
Is that right? Are you getting nasty when you're high there, Brad?
Nasty? I'm just saying she is.
Tone down, Brad. Tone it down. Maybe being high brings that out in you. So hold on. I don't think she's saying I like it, although I do think it's funny. I don't think she really wants the childish attitude to go, because then life would be super boring. Maybe she should laugh along and get a sense of humor. Maybe that.
That doesn't sound like she's got a sense of humor.
She was at a comedy show.
Well, I just wonder. I know she was at a comedy show, gave me this, but I'm worried for him, because is his attitude? Does he not care that she has this attitude, or? I
think guys like it. I think that, because you know how many times a day I roll my eyes? Do you know how many times a day I do that?
7.
2 men up top. I can't even count. It's all day long, because I can't even tell you all the childish things in my house. I have a grown son here and I have a husband here. All day long, rolling the eyes. But you know what? It's kind of funny, but I have to pretend like I don't think it's funny. Don't tell them this. I have to pretend like I don't think it's funny, because that's part of the funny. I'd be like, oh my God. Oh my God. But they don't really get mad.
I heard it today about doing this show. Oh my God, you're like that now, and you're gonna do this show anyway. I can't. What are you doing? Are you nuts? Don't do it. Don't do the show. Are you crazy? So, all right, let me pull something else. We're gonna do 2 more questions, and then we're gonna talk about this study. What's the percentage of divorce now? Do you know the percentage of divorce in the United States?
Do you know? Are you Googling it?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any idea? I don't think it's any higher. People keep thinking it's higher than it used to be, or more people are mad, or more people don't get along. And I would think it'd be less. I think there'd be less divorces right now.
I work with a lot of divorces, so it's like all I see. So to me, it feels like everybody's getting divorced. But I don't know what the actual statistics are. I don't know.
This is from divorce statistics info rates. It says the marriage breakup rate in America for the first marriage is 41 to 50%. So that's lower. I've always heard it was over 50% in the past. Now, here's something important for everyone to listen to. When you get married younger, there's a bigger chance you're going to get divorced. Look at this. Under 20, which they've statistics for under 20. What are you doing getting married if you're under 20? I know you're pregnant because it's high school.
Yeah, those are
wow. So now, but this is wild. Under 20 years of age, 27.6% of women get divorced. 11.7% of men, which I don't understand how those two are different statistics.
Right. The other men don't know they're divorced.
They don't know. Yeah, they're just out with 5 families. They got 3 families, so it doesn't really matter. But the important part is the highest, actually, under 20 marriages have a lower percentage than 20 to 24 years, which is the highest percentage group that gets divorced.
That was me.
You were 20 to 24?
I was 23, I think.
So where is your first husband?
I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. It's on those cold case files.
So,
I'm still married to him.
Oh, you're still married. You're on the good side.
I was that age.
You were that age. So you were
young. I think because your identity, who you really are is not totally solidified just yet. So it's kind of chancy with who you're matching up with.
Your frontal lobe isn't finished.
Right. Kind of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think under 20, the marriages stay together because they're Mormon. So
they're stuck.
They're stuck. You're a Mormon, you get married, you're stuck. So what's interesting now for everybody who wants to get married and you want to wait, the lowest rate of marriage, 35 to 39. Because once you get 35 to 39, you don't care about anything and your life's over.
Kids.
What?
Then when are you having kids?
A lot of people are having kids in their 40s.
Yeah, it's not the most common. I can't see them wait until 39 to get married and then have kids after that. So I'm thinking that's the second marriage maybe.
Do you know the marriages that stay together most? That the biggest percentage? Men that are in their 50s who marry women in their 20s because he dies way before she could ever divorce him.
Oh, my God.
If they make it 15 years,
she'll leave him in like 5 years after she gets invested in the financials, and then she's be like, I got mine. I got my alimony. Thanks. Bye.
Well, he's got it. Let's talk about prenups, everybody. Everybody should have a prenup out there.
No.
I got one with my wife. The problem is she has all the stuff, so I had to sign it. But man, that was a tough day. I say, what? I get nothing? What? So that's why I try to say. But there are, I mean, I was looking at Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin is 57. His wife is in her early 30s. They have 5 kids under the age of 6.
Wow. That's fertile.
Fertile at 56, and now he's got 20 years. Billy Joel.
They probably have 3 nannies.
He says they have 1.
You know how tiring it is to work with little children after 50?
Oh, well, and then with COVID, they've been in a house. They've been in a house for 4.5 months.
Right. He's probably like, goodbye.
Well, I'm thinking, think of all you out there with small kids. And we have a lot of friends, like my wife's teachers that she was taught in college and are now teachers. They all have little babies at home for COVID and kids running around crazy. I mean, it really, to think about now, I thought about this the other day about if I start, because a lot of men, 55, they're starting new kids, I just don't think I could ever do that.
No, I take care of my grandkids and my batteries are literally drained. So I don't know how people do it in their older years. They have to have help. And if you don't have help and you have a baby and you're over 50, like, get help. You need the help. You should be having help.
Or you're neglecting them. One of the two. They're being neglected by you.
They're in front of the television the whole time.
Well, Tony Randall, married 40 years, wife died. He's in his 70s, marries a 26-year-old.
Oh.
They have 2 kids. He dies 3 years later. So that girl's like, cha-ching. Yeah, Tony, let's have the kids. See you later, old man. And now I've got the Tony Randall money.
But there are some people that have quite the attraction to older folk. It's not a financial thing. It's they really feel a really strong love for those that are 20 plus years older than them.
You know, it's funny. And some people I've learned have just the opposite because, as you could ask my wife, she is not attracted to older men. And I mean, just men getting older. That would be me.
Yeah. Sorry, you've expired.
As I get older, I get less attractive to her, and she's got all the money. So why is sex overrated?
Plastic surgery.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I did hurt my jaw.
Yeah. Okay. What's it say?
Why is sex overrated?
Is it overrated? Is someone overrating it?
Well, that's because what you're having sex with isn't doing it right.
Yeah, I don't know what overrated means. Overrated by who? Like,
what are we comparing it to?
It's supposed to be an enjoyable activity.
Well, here's what I would say: sex is overrated. It depends on what. Although I will say, as you get older, other things come up there. I mean, when I was young, I would choose sex over anything at any time. Anytime. If sex is an option, I'm choosing that. But now we'll wake up sometimes and be, hey, you want to have sex? And then we'll say, oh, wait, those really good leftovers are in the refrigerator. Let's go get that instead. And
so
then we go eat.
Priorities change. Your
priorities change, or how important something is. I'd say once you get in your 60s, going to the bathroom really good is about as important as having good sex. Oh my God, I just emptied everything. I can't believe it.
That was super enjoyable.
Yeah, you talk about it. It's amazing. So, oh my God. Okay, Donna Wilburn.
It's overrated. So answer that one. I think I'm going to say, let me have an answer for it. Why is sex overrated? I think it's shock value. I think people talk about it because it's taboo and it's like a stimulating topic to talk about, and it kind of gets people aroused to talk about it. So I think there's a high to even talking about it that, people like their highs, right, Brad?
We're talking being high. By the way, every time I pick this up to drink something, I think of George Thorogood in One Shot, One Beer, that song where he says, you know you're high when your mouth is getting dry. And my mouth has been dry ever since I started this. This is, again, the saddest thing on the planet. Okay. So next, Donna Wilburn. Last week, we talked about old-timey marriage concepts. And this week, Indiana University has a new study out as of June 29th that studies the stress of the pandemic and its negative impact on mental health and relationships. They just studied. Now, it's not a huge study. They only surveyed 200 people.
That is a huge study.
Couples. What?
That's a large amount for a study.
Well, I would think 10,000 is a large amount.
Never. Got a little cocky. No, it's anything over 100 is like a big study.
It's like, well, this is the world's biggest study.
Huge.
And they found, first of all, they're seeing a lot of drinking and fighting in intimate partner relationships. And here's something really interesting for all of you in a LGBTQ. Those relationships are showing particularly high levels of stress and depression.
Okay.
I have no idea why or what to even say about that. So they found that 50% of people experienced depression symptoms in the moderate to severe range within the past month who had said they hadn't in the past.
Well, we have been in quarantine, and we talked about how like people weren't really acknowledging the stress that quarantine brings, that they're like, oh, I can handle this. Oh, look, we'll do TikTok dances. Oh, it's great. There's an underlying, you lost your freedom. You are stressing and your mind knows it. So as much as we try to deny it or distract ourselves from it, our mind knows that we're stressing. Well, after a certain amount of time, you're going to start exploding, and you're going to start getting over irritable at things that maybe you could have tolerated before. So I think that's what's happening right now and I do see it. I do see like they tried to deny the stress. They tried to distract from the stress. They tried to keep, crafty in the house, and nothing worked. And now we're maybe going into round 2. You have some really pissed off people out there. And then when you said the LGBTQ crowd has a higher incidence of conflict, they're in that particular group in society is kind of stigmatized. So they already have a higher level of stress as people. So of course they're going to reach that tolerance limit maybe a little sooner than the average Joe, or a little more intense than the average Joe. So
well, I'm going to change and say that it actually has more to do with Facebook. They're on Facebook so much more, hearing the horrible, terrible people attack everything in the world that is good. And that is causing so much stress. Everybody, if you can wake up in the morning and wait 3 or 4 hours before checking your Facebook, if you're like us, older people, do that, because that, and then when you talk about marginalized groups, they see so much of that hate right in their feed, and even if they're not even looking for it, or they don't have those friends, it comes through on a comment on a newspaper that you have.
Facebook is like a forum for haters. I try not to have any on my page. I don't even want to see them talking or hear them talking. And if there's comments that come up, like, I'll delete them. I don't want to see hate on my page. I do entertainment. I want to see it for entertainment, not for like depressing, upsetting me. So I make sure I like try to get rid of anything that's hater related on my page.
Well, and I even, as I unfollow, just new crops. It's like the algorithm. People always talk about the dumb algorithm. Oh, I posted a thing, I copied and pasted it, changed the algorithm. It did nothing. Your Facebook's going to do what it's going to do.
It was a lie.
And what it is Facebook must have an algorithm that once I stop following this racist, terrible person, oh yeah, well, we'll slip this one in instead.
You must be interested in racist, terrible people.
Yeah. So that's one thing I would tell you, but I think that is part of it, because we're spending so much more time with people we don't know at all on Facebook, and it affects our marriage. By the way,
that is the thing. You should really limit your social media and limit your watching and getting negative information. Go freaking outside. Go out.
Limit it to 4 to 4:35 on Wednesdays. So, but next week, no high for me. So also 31% of people are increased alcohol usage. Have increased alcohol.
31%?
31% are drinking quite a bit more. And that reminds me to say this about the whole thing, about this study. When you have two people that are together all the time and you don't know what the outcome is in the world, sometimes they go in different directions. Like my wife, we're kind of in the same direction. She is really now about fixing stuff up in the house, she's working on this. She's constantly, which we never did before we were busy. We just, if something needed to be done, we got to it when we got to it. But now it's just things. And if somebody they're like, no, we want to play more video games. We want to chill out. And then the one's like, no, get up and work on this, get up and work on that. I don't know if I mentioned this before, is the guy who does our lawn. We were noticing, hey, what's wrong with the grass? Why is this wasn't as good as the other person? And then I told him, I said, it's because we're here. We wouldn't even know. It would just be shorter if I was on the road, come back and forth, if she had to go to work every day. But you have to live with us attacking you because the grass doesn't look perfect because we're micromanaging you.
Same with this stuff in the house. It's different when you're sitting there staring at it all day versus when you're just passing by. So it's going to bug you more, and you're probably going to want to get it done.
It bugs me terrible. So, okay, let's hold on. We've got to run these ads. Go.
Voted Michiana's #1 restaurant, Doc Pierce's will open on Monday, May 18th, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Carryout will also resume with service to your car or walk-in. Come in and enjoy all Doc's classic dishes and appetizers, plus daily specials and drinks. Call 574-255-7737 for reservations, carryout, or curbside. We politely request that all guests wear a mask while entering and exiting the restaurant. Our goal is to ensure the safety of both our staff and our guests. Doc Pierce's The Doctor is In.
And now a new one. So that's the new one. I want people to go stream all my stuff on all these different platforms, the music, the books. I'm finding that people are reading my book, Don't Feed the Bully, on YouTube because it'll read the whole book for you in different chapters, and I get a nickel. So if anybody would do that, I get a nickel for every time that happens. So I'm going to kind of force people into that. So, okay, next, let's go 2 more, and then we're going to give up, and I'm going to go and run around in a circle.
Sleep it off, Brad.
How? Tossing. I tie to sleep. I tie a scarf, like up on my head, and put ice right there and tie it up, and I wander around the house. I should have put that on. How do you work through getting to the place of hating your spouse? How do you work through getting to a place of hating your spouse? Wait, how do you work through to getting to a place, or how do you work through hating your spouse after time?
How do you work through hating them, or how do you make your way to hating them?
Well, first of all,
how would you say it? Like, interpret it, like toss what they said. What do you say?
They've been together a long time. This goes right along with the study. You've been together a long time. I hate them, but I'd like to work through it and find the person I used to love. How do I do that?
Therapy. And forgive them. You can forgive somebody. I'd say that's one of the number one things that's making it difficult for people to progress and move forward, is somehow it got stuck in someone's head that forgiveness means tolerate. Forgiveness doesn't mean tolerate that behavior again. They're like, if I forgive them, they're going to do it again. No, that's not what forgiveness means. You're not going to continue to be angry about it. There still has to be change. It's still not okay. We still have to change behaviors, but you don't need to stay angry. So for people who want to move forward and not hate, you don't have to hate and stay angry if you don't want to. That would be an individual thing to work on. You can look at forgiveness. You can look at self-help books about forgiveness, or you can see a therapist who can help you let go of anger so that there's not that hate, and that you can move forward, whether together or not. At least you move forward without anger.
Wow, that was amazing. And during it, you suddenly had blue things flying out of your face. I was just enjoy writing. I can't enjoy it. I will say this on this note, and then we'll wrap it up. Next week we're going to have a wacky quiz, I think. Okay. And also, my last thing on this is that I remember in a lot of my classes we used to talk about this, treating people as if they're doing exactly what you want them to do, treating them like they're doing everything great. They'll start to be better. And even if they're not, you'll feel like they're better over time. You can make yourself happy if you do happy things and you treat people in a happy manner, pretending they're doing it. And now, this isn't if they're murderers or they're stabbing you with kitchen knives. This is for normal, everyday people. In situations like this, where he's letting everything, and I'm guessing it's a he, everything bug him. Now, everything.
So let me tell you, this is what I tell. Anger is a choice. After 30 minutes, it's normal to get angry and be like, oh my gosh. But after about 30 minutes to an hour, now it's a choice. Now you're staying angry because you want to. Okay. So that's a choice. And like you said, if you don't want to be an angry hater person, then don't be thinking and saying angry hater stuff.
Well, angry is a second class emotion. You're doing something ahead of that to be angry. You've got something that you're feeling or something you're going through. You have to figure out that.
Side effect emotion or secondary emotion. Yes.
Secondary emotion. Yeah. I don't know the words like you know the words, Donna.
I'll help you out. It's tough to be high. Just keep doing your thing.
Oh, man. It is. Okay, I'm going to push this button. We're going to go away. And next week, I'll pretend it never happened. I'm going to go get some food. Yeah.